Ashley is a stewardess. She finds this cute puppy running around in the airport. 3 people come over and claim to be its owner. Can you guess who's telling the truth? This guy. His tattoo matches the dog's name. Ashley walks to her flight gate and passes by this waiting area. But then the gate changes, so she has to walk through that place once again. Ashley spots 10 differences. Can you see them too? Here they are. Ashley is checking passengers' passports before letting people on board. Suddenly, the security service calls her with a warning. One of the passengers is using a fake ID. Ashley finds 3 suspects. Can you spot the fake passport out? There's no February 31st, so this passport is definitely fake. Finally, the plane is taking off. Ashley takes a look at the passengers and spots 3 odd things. Can you see them too? This lady has 2 safety belts. This guy is talking on the phone. It should be put in airplane mode. And the view behind this window doesn't match reality. There's no hot lunch on this flight, but you can buy it additionally. The price for chicken is set at $15, and the beef costs $12. Can you guess the price of a fish lunch? The cost of one vowel is $5, and the cost of a consonant, $1. Fish has 3 consonants and 1 vowel, so it costs $8. One of the passengers, Josh, calls Ashley. He begins to complain. Someone had stolen my phone when I was in the toilet. Ashley questions 3 people sitting nearby. What happened when Josh was away? Chelsea says, "Sorry, I was watching a movie, so I didn't look around at all." Bobby says, "I was reading a book, but I think I heard the sound of a rustled plastic bag." And Nina says, "I was sleeping. You woke me up with your stupid questions. Who stole the phone?" Nobody. It's still in Jeff's pocket. Ashley checks the business class passengers and spots 1 witch among them. Can you see her too? This lady is hiding a magic wand. Ashley lands in a foreign country and sends her boyfriend this message. Can you guess what country she's in? Singapore. Ashley goes to her hotel by train. She sees these 2 billboards on the way. She can't decide if they're identical. Can you spot any differences? In fact, there are 5 differences. Ashley goes to the local restaurant. There's an open kitchen, and she can see the chef at work. Ashley makes an order and leaves for the ladies' room for a while. When she returns, she spots 10 differences in the kitchen. Can you see them too? Here they are. Ashley sees a group of office workers having lunch together. Suddenly, their boss spills hot coffee on his laptop because his palm is stuck to his mug. One of these 3 co-workers prank their boss. Can you guess who? It's the lady in the middle. She's wearing double-sided tape as a bracelet. Suddenly, one of the guests in the restaurant faints. The manager calls an ambulance. The doctors arrive very quickly and take him to the hospital. The police question witnesses. The cook says, "This guy didn't order any food. He just asked for a glass of water." The waitress says, "He looked so gloomy. I decided to cheer him up and served his water in a silver glass." The manager says, "He called us in advance to reserve a table in the corner. He insisted that I must send him an official invitation." And the cleaner says, "I saw him washing hands in the restroom. I swear he didn't have any reflection." Can you guess what happened here? The guest was a vampire, and he got sick because of the silver. Ashley is visiting the local farmer's market. A group of tourists asks her to take their pictures. One of them is not from this planet. Can you guess who? This lady. She's eating a pomegranate with the peel. Ashley wants to chill at this beautiful beach, but she sees a zombie among the guests. Can you spot it too? It's this guy who's reading a book upside down. Ashley goes hiking and gets lost. She finds a sign that shows 3 possible ways out. Unfortunately, each path hides some danger. There's a toxic marsh that swallows people on the first path. The second path is a hunting place for vampires. And the third path holds thousands of venomous snakes. Which way is more or less safe? Ashley should choose the second path. Vampires only hunt at night. Ashley, Nellie, Sarah, and Melissa are coworkers and friends. They land in Paris and come to a party together. But at a certain point, they find out that Ashley had disappeared. She was locked in the basement of the music hall. Can you guess who did it? It was Melissa. Pink sequins from her fancy dress lay by the door. Ashley receives this rebus from her boss. Can you guess which country is her next destination? She's going to Belgium. Ashley is packing her bags for the trip. How many emojis can you see here? Here they are. Ashley is having breakfast at the airport. Can you find any emojis in this food? There are 3, actually. In the waiting area, Ashley meets her old school friend, Kelly. They go to the local coffee shop to chat. Suddenly, Kelly begins to yell, "Please help me! My suitcase is gone!" Ashley questions 3 witnesses. One of the passengers, Paul, says, "This is my suitcase. I've already wrapped it in plastic to protect it from scratches." Nina says, "I went to the restroom and asked the barista to look after my luggage." And the barista says, "I looked after Nina's luggage and I didn't look around. Sorry." Can you figure out the thief? It's Paul. There's a sticker with Kelly's name under the plastic. Ashley enters the plane. There's an imposter among the flight crew. Can you help Ashley find this person? It's this stewardess. Take a look at her uniform. The air company logo is a little different compared to all the others. Ashley lands in Brussels. She walks into the local park and takes 2 pictures. Can you find 10 differences between them? Here they are. A motorbike rider asks Ashley to take his picture. She takes two. Are they identical? There are three differences, actually. In the hotel, Ashley meets an opera diva, Esmeralda, who's having a world tour. She has visited almost all the countries, and she has finally arrived at the last one.
Oh, no.
In the morning, a maid finds Esmeralda unconscious in her room. The police arrive and find out that Esmeralda was poisoned. They question the suspects. Esmeralda's husband says, "She wanted to be in bed early, so I went to the lobby for the night." Esmeralda's manager says, "I was in my room all evening. I was preparing for the concert." And the hotel waitress says, "I only brought her juice in the evening. She was fine." The police check fingerprints in the room and find many prints on the glass. Who poisoned Esmeralda? It was the manager. She said she didn't leave the room, but there are prints on the glass. In the morning, Ashley is having her next flight, but her taxi breaks on the way. She's stuck at the gas station 50 miles away from the airport. 3 drivers stop, offering to give Ashley a ride. Which car would you choose? The first car is stolen, and the third driver is a runaway criminal, so Ashley should choose the second car. Ashley returns home and puts all her cash into her stash as usual. The next evening, she returns home and realizes that someone had stolen her money. How did she guess? Ashley's cash was in the globe. Its parts don't match anymore. Somebody opened it when Ashley was out.
Jim goes hiking and gets lost in the woods. After a while, he gets really hungry. Jim wanders around and finds these 3 options, but only one of them is safe. Can you help Jim make the right choice? All the footsteps are leading to this berry bush, but not a single animal walked away from it. So the berries are probably poisonous. There's a scorpion creeping around these delicious bananas, so Jim should choose the apple tree. Timmy is packing bags for a hike in the mountains. Can you sort out extra items? It's unlikely he's going to need a hairdryer. Timmy's already taking a flashlight, and he probably won't have access to electricity. Therefore, he doesn't need this table lamp. And finally, he shouldn't take this heavy silver cutlery. A frog is at the bottom of a well. The well is 30 feet deep. The frog climbs up 5 feet every day, but it slips back 4 feet every night. After how many days will the frog be free? "26 days. Wow. The frog climbs up by just 1 foot per 24 hours. So in 25 days, it will be at the level of 25 feet. And on the 26th day, it will make the final 5 feet jump and get out of the well." Billy here wakes up in a creepy cave and finds 4 tunnels leading outside. He only has one chance to escape. There's a hungry tiger inside the first tunnel. The second tunnel is filled with dust and spider webs. Yuck! There's a water-filled tank with sharks inside the third tunnel. And the fourth tunnel is full of venomous snakes. Which tunnel is more or less safe to enter? Billy should choose the second tunnel. There are no spiders in this picture, only the webs. Crawling through them might be unpleasant, but at least he'll stay safe. 3 tourists go hiking and get into trouble. Surprise, surprise. Can you guess who has more chances to survive? The third person. Although rats are gross, they're not fatal. Diana's boat was wrecked, and she ended up on a tropical island. The locals speak an unknown language, so Diana can't understand them. But still, she managed to spot this guy's wife right away. Can you see her too? It's the third lady. They have similar tattoos. Wendy is walking in the woods and falls into the trap of evil elves. She offers their king a deal. If I write your exact age on a piece of paper, you'll let me go. The king agrees and gives Wendy a piece of paper and a pen. In a minute, he lets her go. How did she do it? Wendy literally did what she said. She wrote your exact age on the paper. Ah, clever girl. Stan is walking home in a haunted city. He finds a nice spot to shoot a TikTok. But unfortunately, he falls into a basement. Stan looks around and finds 4 doors out. There's a hungry dragon behind the first door. The second way is filled with intense fire. There's a desert filled with hungry piranhas behind the third door. And venomous snakes are waiting behind the fourth door. Which way is the safest? The third one. Piranhas live in water, so they wouldn't manage to survive in the desert. Therefore, they're not dangerous for Stan. Jessica gets lost in the desert with just one small bottle of water. She has no clue where the nearest water source is. What would you suggest? Run as quickly as possible to find more water? Pour all water on her head to avoid sunstroke? Find a shady place and rest? Stay where she is and shout for help as loud as possible. The third option is the best. When it gets darker and cooler, she can walk further and find help. Tilda is boarding a private jet. The crew greets her, and she spots an imposter among the crew members right away. Can you see this person too? The pilot is wearing a badge with a female face and name on it. Therefore, he had stolen someone else's ID. Tyler wakes up in the morning and finds out that his shadow is gone. He goes to the local witch. She offers to choose from these 6 options. But only one of these shadows really belongs to Tyler. Can you spot which one? Only the first shadow fits perfectly. Nina and Sarah are both fond of swimming, but one of them is making a big mistake. Can you guess who? Nina. The sign says that the water in this river contains toxic waste. Meanwhile, Sarah can easily surf in large waves. Kyle and Betty go to a remote village to spend a romantic weekend. They see a cute little farm on the way and buy some pomegranates. They go on a picnic and enjoy the fruits. Each of them eats half of the pomegranate. In 10 minutes, Kyle gets very sick. Betty takes him to the hospital. Doctors check everything and come to the conclusion the pomegranate was poisoned. Kyle and Betty ate the same food and drank the same drinks all day. How is it possible that Betty still feels well? The poison was in the white seeds. Kyle ate them whole, while Betty only the red part. Allison is jogging in a park. Suddenly, she comes across an angry brown bear. It's getting closer and closer, but Allison manages to survive. What did she do? Started running as fast as she could? Fell to the ground and pretended to be unconscious? Or stood still and didn't move? What do you say? Usually, brown bears only attack people when they're surprised or feel threatened. Allison fell to the ground, and the bear didn't consider her dangerous. Peter is hiking in the middle of nowhere. Suddenly, he sees a mountain tiger in the distance. He's trying not to panic and begins to look for a place to hide. There are 3 possible options, but only one of them is more or less safe. Can you help him make the right choice? If Peter climbs this tree, the tiger can easily get him there. Tigers actually like to swim. That's why it's not safe for Peter to escape by boat. But if he hides in this cave and blocks the entrance with a stone, he can call rescuers and wait for evacuation. Alice is 45 years older than her son Tom. Both of their ages contain prime numbers as the digits. Also, Alice's age is the reverse of Tom's age. Can you figure out their ages? The only single-digit prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, and 7. Here's a list of possible age combinations: 32 and 23, 52 and 25, 73 and 37, 53 and 35, 75 and 57, 72 and 27, but only the last combination meets the first requirement. The age difference should be 45 years. Therefore, Alice is 72 and her son is 27. Polly is an archaeologist. She excavates an ancient city. Suddenly, she finds a beautiful antique vase, or vase if you prefer. But one piece is missing. Polly also finds these ceramic fragments. Can you help her find the missing piece of the vase? The 4th fragment fits perfectly. Dan lands with a parachute in a field in the middle of nowhere. Been there, done that. He finds the nearest bus station to get back to the city, but only one of these 4 buses will arrive at the station. Can you guess which one? It's the 2nd bus. You can crack this maze much easier if you start drawing from the final destination. Amy leaves her workplace to go to the bathroom. She returns and finds out that someone had stolen all the cash from her wallet. Amy checks the wallet's surface for fingerprints, but she only finds her own. The next day, Amy questions 3 of her coworkers. Mike says, "Sorry, I've been out for lunch when the robbery took place." Oliver says, "I've been feeling sick all morning, so I went home early." And Will says, "I've been having a conference call with their clients." Can you spot the thief? It's Oliver. Take a look at his trash bin. He used gloves to steal the cash and then left them in the trash. He's the clumsy culprit.
Okay, let's start with a little workout. Here's a doodle of a bus somewhere on the road between San Francisco and Los Angeles. Can you figure out which direction the bus is going? Even though the bus is absolutely symmetrical, solving this isn't as hard as it seems. Did you notice that the bus doesn't have any doors? But it does, they're just on the other side. Buses always have doors on the right side, so the one facing you is on the left side of the bus. So the bus must be going from Los Angeles to San Francisco. Naya is a scientist making a new species of frogs. She keeps them in 3 tanks, N, L, and R, which stand for the condition she keeps the frog in: no light, light, and regular. In the R tank, there are 2 times more frogs than in the L tank. One day, Naya removed 7 frogs from the tank on the right. Then, half of the frogs that remained, she put in the N tank. What is the marking letter of the right tank? The right one can't be an N, so it's either L or R. Since she removed 7 frogs and could still split the number of the rest in half, it means that the right tank has an odd number of frogs in it before she took the 7 out. Since there were 2 times more frogs in the R tank than in the L one, the number of frogs in the R tank can't be odd. It's always even. So the right tank must be the L tank. Kaylee got into an accident and was suffering from memory loss. She was a popular girl in school and everyone wanted to date her. One day, 3 guys, Jake, Tobias, and Evan, came to visit her. All of them claimed to be her boyfriend. Kaylee couldn't remember who her real boyfriend was. Can you help her figure it out? Look at the pictures by Kaylee's bed. One is with her family, but the other one is with a guy that looks like Evan. So Evan must be her boyfriend. Alice and Ava are best friends who are trying to sneak into the best nightclub in the city. They decided to go through the back door, but there was a security guy. "Password?" he asked. "Can you help the girl to figure out the password?" Do you see his t-shirt? It must be a hint. Did you crack it? To infinity and B on D. To infinity and beyond. Esme was having a walk in the forest and got lost. She tried to find her way back home, but instead she found a witch's house. The witch agreed to let Esme go if she solves her riddle.
Here are 4 arrows. Can you arrange them so that there are 5 arrows?
What should Esme do to solve this riddle? She should place the arrows like this. Now there are 4 arrows and the 5th one is formed in the middle. Santa Claus is very busy, especially at the end of the year when he has to deliver all the presents. This year, he messed up the presents a bit and got confused about which present goes to which kid. Can you help him figure it out? Here are 3 presents and 3 kids. Which one gets which? Okay, so this girl has makeup on and is obviously into it, so the makeup set must be for her. This girl is reading a book, so a book should be given to her. And so this watch must be for this guy. Okay, here is another set of messed up presents. Can you decide which one belongs to whom? Look, this guy has his hands covered in paint. He must be an artist, so this paint set must be for him. This girl has many plants in her apartment, so the seeds must be for her. Then the puzzle is for the other girl. Okay, a couple more presents to arrange here. Which goes to whom this time? This guy is obviously into rockets. Look at his t-shirt. So, the rocket model must be a gift for him. And this guy is obviously working out a lot. Look at his muscles. So the dumbbells belong to him. So the necklace should be prepared for this girl right here. You're doing great. Now is the last set of messed up presents. Can you do Santa one last favor? This girl is the only one who has her ears pierced, so the earrings must be for her. Look at this girl's room. She has a collection of comic books. So this set of comic books must be for her. And the sweater that remains goes to the third girl. Thanks for your help. In a faraway galaxy, there are two species living on the same planet, Remings and Calliops. There are 120,000 of Remings, and they are 50% of the planet's population. How many Calliops live on the planet? If there are two species and one of them makes 50% of the population, then the other population is the other 50%. So, there are 120,000 Calliops as well. Lily, Rose, and Lavender are best friends going to a birthday party. Each one of them has a present and flowers. "Look, we have flowers our names mean," said Rose. "Yes, and none of us has her flower," added a girl with a lavender bouquet. Can you figure out which girl has which flower? Since no one carries the flower of her name, Rose can only have either Lily or Lavender, but the girl who responded to her has Lavender. So Rose has lily flowers. In this case, the girl with the lavender must be Lily. And Lavender, the girl who remained silent, has the roses. Mrs. Collins grounded her daughter, Amelia, for failing a math test. Mrs. Collins is a doctor and she works night shifts sometimes. One day, she left for a night in the afternoon and returned in the morning. Just like Mrs. Collins expected, when she returned home, she knew that Amelia had sneaked out at night for a party. How did she understand it? If you paid attention, you could notice that the car was parked differently when Mrs. Collins was leaving the house. This means that Amelia used it at night. In a kingdom far away, Princess Erin became the queen. Since her father was too strict and put many people in prison, she decided to ease up a bit and took off 3/4 of each prisoner's sentence. The Queen's Chancellor expressed a concern. "Your Majesty, there are 7 people with life sentences." What do you think was the Queen's order? The people who had life sentences would be free for 3 days and then spend 1 day back in prison. It'll last all their lives, and in the end, they will get exactly 3/4 of time off their sentence. Ashley is going on a month-long vacation. She's visiting her friend in Greece, but she has trouble packing because she can't find some things she needs on vacation in her house. Can you help her? I'll be showing you the picture of her rooms and the items she needs. You just have to find them in the picture. Okay, let's start with her bedroom. Can you see those items there? Great job. They're here, here, and here. Now let's move on to the living room. There's some more stuff she needs. Do you think you can find them all? Here is where they are. Did you locate them all? Next room is the office. Ashley is having a vacation, but she still needs several things from here. Can you help her again? Yes, here are all of them. It was a bit tricky, but you nailed it. Now, the bathroom. Can you find where these little things are? It's getting a bit more complicated, so keep your eyes open. Here's the answer. How well did you do? And this is the last task. Ashley needs some stuff from the hallway. Her keys, her wallet, and her documents. Can you help her locate them? Here, here, and here. Great job! Have a great trip, Ashley!
One night, Bill and Jonah performed their hit song at the Kingdom's festival. The crowds loved it, but the song offended the king. The king told the musicians that he would not leave it unpunished. A few hours before their punishment, they were approached by the kingdom's princess, who happened to be a big fan of their music. She gave them a pair of magic, six-sided dice that could land any way they wished. Soon after she left, a trapdoor opened below Bill and Jonah's feet, and they fell into a deep cavern. In the cavern, a robed figure appeared before them. It turned out to be a powerful genie. The genie told them he could change the king's decision, but only if Bill and Jonah proved worthy of it by completing a couple of challenges. The men were relieved and agreed to play along. Then the genie disappeared behind a wall, and 3 buttons appeared. There was a red button, a yellow one, and a green. Somewhere on the floor, they found a note that read, SSERPHETDREUTBTNO. Bill and Jonah clicked on one of the buttons and managed to open a hidden door on the wall. Which button did they choose? The red button. They unscrambled the words on the note and discovered it read, "Press the red button." In the next room, the genie was waiting for them. He told Bill and Jonah that the next challenge was a game he loved very much, a life-size version of Snakes and Ladders. He told them that the cavern they were in had 100 rooms, all connected by passageways as well, as you guessed it, Snakes and Ladders. The rules remained the same as in the original game, with only 2 exceptions. Both Bill and Jonah had to make their way out of the cavern, reaching the exit in a maximum of 5 turns. However, once either Bill or Jonah used a snake or ladder, it would disappear and become inaccessible to the other person. It was very difficult, but both guys managed to find their way out of the cavern. Can you figure out how they did it? Here's how it worked out. The team had the magic dice the princess gave them, so they could choose the number they needed to reach either a ladder or a snake. But to reach the exit in 5 or fewer turns, they needed to use both snakes and ladders in their strategy. Bill went first and chose to walk 4 rooms. There, he got the ladder up to room 75. Then he diced his way to room 76 and slid down a snake all the way to room 41. Then after another dice roll, he got to room 47. He slid back down to room 30. On his 4th roll, he walked to room 35 and got a ladder up to room 96. He rolled his final dice to room 100 and got out of the cavern. On Jonah's turn, he had to take a different route, as the snakes and ladders Bill used had disappeared. So firstly, he rolled room 5 and got a ladder up to room 15. Then, he got a ladder from room 19 to room 41. From there, he rolled his way up to room 53 and got a ladder up to room 94. And finally, rolled his magic dice all the way to room 100 and towards freedom. In another kingdom nearby, Natalie was the princess and heir to the throne. One day, during her morning walk, Natalie got lost. She found a house in the forest and went to knock on the door and ask for help. The house was owned by an evil witch that captured Natalie. The witch said this was her chance to win the throne and planned on disappearing with Natalie. So she put the princess in a dark, damp cavern. The witch had forgotten, but inside the cavern, there were 3 doors. Natalie could use one of the doors to escape, but behind the first door, there was a fire-breathing dragon. Behind the second door, there were venomous rats. And behind the last door, there was a dark forest. Which door should she choose? The third door, of course. It will lead her straight back to the forest. Outside again, Natalie still didn't know which way to take to get back to the castle. That's when she remembered that her necklace had a magic pendant on it. The king's magician gave it to her, saying it would always help her find her way home. She used the pendant, and 3 magical animals appeared. The first magical animal was a tiger, the second was an octopus, and the third animal was a butterfly. Only one of them knew the way back to the castle. But if she chose to follow the wrong animal, she would find herself even further away from the castle. Which magical animal should she follow? Did you notice the kingdom banner in the throne room? It had tigers on it. It's the official symbol of Natalie's kingdom, which means she would be best off by following the tiger. Alice was at a crowded concert. Suddenly, she felt somebody reaching into her bag and pulling out her wallet that only had credit cards inside. She couldn't see who the person was, but after checking the footage from the surveillance cameras, security guards were able to narrow it down to 3 suspects. Johnny said he was waiting in line to use the toilet for hours and didn't have anything to do with the theft. Jenny said she was super rich and didn't need anyone else's cards to pay for the things she wanted. Penny said she was too focused on singing along with the band to notice what had happened. The security guards immediately figured out who the thief was. Can you figure it out too? Well, nobody told Jenny that the wallet only had credit cards, but somehow she still knew it. Jenny must have stolen it. 2 friends are sitting at the same table in a cafe. One of them is speaking about a TV show he began to produce, getting into all the details of the production. The second friend is talking about the birthday party he is about to throw next week, saying there's going to be a lot of cool people and delicious food. The other people at the cafe are annoyed by the men's loud voices. But why is this dialogue so strange? Why is one of the guys talking about a TV show and the other about a party? Well, these 2 guys aren't speaking to each other. They're talking on their phones, through headphones. Lucy found a new job in another city, so she had to move. She contacted a real estate agent to help her find her new house. He showed her 3 options. The first one was a beautiful studio with a view of the park. The second one was a single bedroom that was within walking distance of a subway station. The third apartment was in a quiet and very green neighborhood. Which apartment should Lucy choose? If you look closely, the first one has mold on the ceiling, and the third one looks like it has a rat infestation. So it looks like Lucy should choose apartment number 2. The school's headmaster looks nervous. He gets to his office and opens the door. It was the end of the semester, and all the students were about to take their finals. When he sat at his desk, he discovered someone had been through his papers, and worse, someone had stolen his copy of the physics final. He asked his secretary to check the cameras and track the last people who had crossed the hallway in front of his office. Soon, she gathered 3 suspects. Jimmy from the robotics team said he passed through the hallway to get to the robotics lab that afternoon. Rachel, a new transfer student, said she got lost and ended up wandering the school's hallway looking for her next classroom. And Drake, a TikToker, said this section of the school was perfect for filming his new videos. The headmaster knew which one of them did it. Can you tell who it was? It was Rachel. The principal didn't recall having any new transfer students. It was the end of the semester. She couldn't have transferred that late in a school year. Today, we're going to solve just one riddle, but I promise you, it will make your brain work like it's never done before. Shall we begin? So the premise is simple. There is a secret island held by a pirate crew as their base. The crew consists of 5 pirates, and they have just got back with a chest full of gold coins. When they count their catch, it turns out to be exactly 100 coins. Now they're about to split it up among themselves. You would say 20 coins to each pirate should be fair, right? But let's not forget about the hierarchy. Some pirates are stronger than others, and those who are weaker have to obey the stronger ones. Let's give them names, just not to get confused. Arnie is the strongest, the second is Bernie, then goes Connie, the fourth is Donnie, and the weakest one is Ernie. You can memorize them by the first letters of their name to make it easier. by the way. The pirates have strict and kinda fair rules of splitting the treasure. The strongest pirate proposes a split, and the rest of them have to cast their votes either for or against the proposal. The simple majority wins, and if 3 or more pirates vote for the proposal, they each split the catch as agreed. But if more pirates vote against, then the one who proposed the split walks away, never to come back. Then, the remaining pirates vote again using the same rules. If there is a tie, though, then the pirate who proposed the split has an additional vote to break the tie. All the crewmates are also quite greedy, and none of them will pass by an opportunity to get as many gold coins as they can. I should add that the pirates are reasonable guys. None of them want to leave the crew forever and lose the potential profits from later adventures, so they care for their staying with the crew first and for the gold last. Also, if a pirate doesn't care about his vote where money is concerned, he will vote against the split. That's because he wants to get rid of the stronger opponents, naturally. Another thing to know about the pirates is that they all enjoy looking at the backs of their stronger mates when they walk away. But if they're given a choice between getting rid of a rival and grabbing even a single coin from the catch, they'll choose the hard cash anytime. Last but not least, the coins can't be cut into pieces or divided in any other way. The pirates can't arrange to share the coins or make any sly plot against their stronger mates to ensure victory. That's not some random rule. They just don't trust each other enough to stick to any arrangements. Every pirate can only rely upon himself. Still, they're all rational, and every pirate knows that the rest of the guys are rational as well. They will use hard logic to make the most out of their situation. Now the big question. How can they divide the gold so that none of the pirates walk away? I'll give you a hint. There seems to be no trust among the crewmates, and that just might be the key to the solution. Pause the video now to think it over, or watch further if you want to see the answer right away. Ready? Then let's go on explaining. To get the solution, we need to think way ahead and go backwards from the last pirate remaining. So let's say Ernie is now the only one left of the crew, and he got all the gold for himself. How did he do that? Well, he had to eliminate the other 4, obviously. Let's get one step back then. We've got Donnie and Ernie left, with Donnie proposing the split. If he says he will take all the gold for himself, Ernie will hold a grudge. Naturally, he will vote against such an unfair split, and the same will happen in any other case, unless Donnie offers him at least 50 gold coins. We remember that the pirates are greedy, so Donnie won't do such a stupid thing. If Ernie disagrees, they will have a tie at 1-1, and Donnie will have the breaking vote, leaving him with all the gold, and Ernie with nothing. Now another step backwards, and we have Connie back on deck and proposing a split, since he's the strongest of the leftovers now. This time, if Connie decides to grab all the cash, even his breaking vote won't help him. There will be 2 votes against his 1, and he'll have to walk the miserable path. To make things work for him, though, Connie has to buy himself a vote. For that, he can offer a single coin to one of the remaining pirates. If he tries to buy Donnie's vote, Donnie will still vote against the split. Why? Because he knows that if Connie walks away, he will get all the money instead. So it's not in Donnie's best interest to be bought so cheaply. Ernie, on the other hand, knows the same thing. He gets nothing either way, so why vote for Connie's proposal? But if Connie offers him a single coin for his vote, he will be better off than any other outcome. So he will accept the coin and vote for Connie to get the other 99, leaving Donnie cashless and in the minority. Okay, now another step back, and we have Bernie on the stage as the proposer. Grabbing all the cash is still not an option, and now there are 3 votes against his. But he has the breaking vote, so he only has to buy himself a single vote again. That will make for 2 votes for his split, 2 against, and his additional 1 to break the tie in his favor. The easiest way to get the most coins for Bernie is to offer 1 coin to Donnie. That's because everyone knows that if Bernie walks away, Connie will end up with 99 coins, Ernie with 1, and Donnie with empty pockets. So fortune favors Donnie, who gets a coin in this round, and Bernie wins the split, grabbing the rest. Sorry, Connie and Ernie, you get nothing this time. Finally, let's put Arnie back on track and in charge of the voting process. So he has 4 votes against him if he tries to make a grab for it. 1 bought vote won't cut it, since there will be 3 others left, That means he needs at least 2 votes for his offer to make it work. Buying Bernie's vote doesn't make sense, because if Arnie walks away, Bernie will get 99 coins. At the same time, Donnie will get 1 coin if Bernie wins, but Connie and Ernie, as we remember, will get nothing. That leaves Arnie with a simple choice. He can offer a coin to Connie and another to Ernie to win their votes. In the final split goes like this: 98 coins to Arnie, none to Bernie, 1 to Connie, zilch to Donnie, and 1 to Ernie. That will make 3 votes in favor of the split, and Arnie will win. The fun part of this situation is that weaker pirates have the power to make the stronger ones walk away. But they won't do that. They all know they'll end up with nothing if the split fails. So they agree to very little. And since the rule of majority applies, not even all of them have to be bought. Similarly, if there were 10 pirates instead of 5, the strongest one would end up being the richest again. All he would have to do is offer a coin to every other pirate, leaving himself with 96 coins. He has to be careful not to offer a coin to the one going right after himself, though. So it would be nothing for the second pirate, 1 to the third, none to the fourth, and so on. Now you know how to share a treasure and always win. If you're strong enough, of course.